I need to be multi-cloud, right? Do you know what? The positives can be really compelling, but if you don't balance the negatives, they can weigh heavily on an organization. It's really easy to focus on the positives. You could choose cloud provider A or cloud provider B, depending on where you want to innovate and what technologies are available. If a cloud provider goes pop and disappears and their whole region disappears off the face of the earth, you can switch over to another one seamlessly. You've not got vendor lock-in, so if somebody changes their prices, changes their structure, starts to do things that you don't like, you're not tied into one vendor and there's a big uphill move. And also you can choose the best provider for every single workload, so you've got complete flexibility. But it's also really easy to overlook the negatives. Simple things like decision making, cloud provider A or cloud provider B, where are you going to deploy your workloads to? So without simple guidance and policies, every decision is going to be slower. Infrastructure as code, you're going to have specific configuration for cloud provider A, B, C, just depends on how many cloud providers you've got. You're going to have a minimum set of infrastructure in each cloud provider to get your networking, security standards, the minimum set up to date and working effectively across multiple clouds. But your whole infrastructure is going to be more complex. Where is your ingress and egress from the internet, for example? On-premise networking, how does that connect in? Are you going through each cloud provider independently, or are you connecting them together, maybe in a kind of triangular model? There's a lot to think about just around infrastructure. Then there's security. You've got a much bigger landscape, much more holes. How do you identify them? How do you fill them? How do you keep everything up to date? If there's a problem, how do you start to diagnose it? Diagnosing problems across multiple sets of infrastructure, multiple cloud providers, much more difficult. And of course, cost management. If you're having to go to multiple portals or sources of information and combine them to create a true picture of cost, it's just much more difficult. So, some very compelling positives and some very real negatives. How are you going to make that balance and work out if multi-cloud is right for you?